Massaro, and I will be guiding you through an intermediate cardio yoga practice, vinyasa flow infused with some strength and some heart pumping moves. So we're going to start in standing mountain pose. And go ahead and bring your feet hip distance apart beneath you, toes pointing forward. Maybe spread your toes and place them on the mat and really feel what it's like to balance between your heels and the balls of your feet. Really press down into all four corners of your feet. Your knees are above your ankles. Close your eyes if you haven't done so. Your hips are above your knees. Your tailbone is drawing toward the floor. Your shoulders are above your hips. Palms facing forward, fingertips reaching for the floor. And your head is just floating on top of your spine. Start to focus on your breath. Start to be aware of how it feels moving in through your nostrils, and maybe how it feels differently as you exhale, moving through your nose. In this practice, I invite you to become aware of your edge, aware of where you might need to push yourself a little bit or where you might need to pull back, and just know you always have choices. This practice is meant to energize, get your blood moving, maybe taking you to your edge. Always being aware of choice. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice this morning, now is the time. Knowing that your intention is something you can come back to all through the practice if you feel like you're holding your breath or gripping or getting lost in what's happened this morning before practice, or maybe what you need to do after. So let's take a few more deep breaths here. And go ahead and open your eyes, coming to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms rise, palms touch. Exhale, bend the left elbow. Take your left hand and place it at your mid-back. With your right hand, grab your left elbow. Press firmly into that left foot and side bend to the right. Really exaggerate that stretch. Inhale, release that, arms rise. And exhale, bend into that right elbow. Right hand comes to the back of the neck or your mid-back. Left hand grabs the right elbow. Press into the right foot and side bend to the left. Really press that right hip off to the right. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, reach. And exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, crossing your arms in front of you, grab your shoulders. shoulders with your hands. Moving into some hip rotation. So feet are hip distance apart. Inhale here. And exhale, side bend to the left. And then take your elbows toward the floor, rounding that back, hugging your belly into your spine, and taking that to the right. Inhale, shifting your hips forward. Tailbone reaches toward the floor. Chin is to your chest, rotating back to the left. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, come back to center, crisscross your arms in the opposite direction. Inhale here, and this time exhale, side bend to the right and take those spinal rotations. Elbows to the floor, neck is neutral. As you shift back, tailbone reaches for the floor, hips reach forward, chin comes to your chest. Let's take that one more time. And go ahead and release. Clasp your hands behind you. Press your knuckles toward the floor. Bend into your knees just a bit. Inhale, lift the crown of the head, lift the chest, and exhale, hinging at the hips, fold forward. Allow that clasp to either stay close by your lumbar spine or allow it to draw up and over your shoulders, whatever feels best to you. Knees can be deeply bent, opening up those shoulders. Inhale, allow that clasp to take you back to standing. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold, knees deeply bent. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. This time, halfway lift, half sun salutations. Exhale, fold. Arms rise. Exhale, fold. Half lift, flat back. Fold. Arms rise. Sit back into your chair. Knees are behind your toes. Tailbone reaching toward the floor. Press into your heels and pulse. Use your strength. Hug your belly button tight to your spine. 3, 2, 1. Sink down. Place all the weight in your left foot and lift your right foot an inch off the mat and breathe. Your right foot finds the floor. Lift your left foot. Left foot finds the floor. Forward fold. Just relax. Half lift. Exhale, fold. Place your hands, plant your hands, step back into a tabletop shape. Knees beneath your hips, wrists beneath your shoulders. Let's take a cat-cow here. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your hips. Lift the crown of your head. Exhale, round your back. Press your hands into the mat. Hug your belly button to your spine. Take your time between these two shapes. Maybe you'd like to move with the music. Maybe you'd like to move slowly, whatever feels best to you. Let's all meet back in a neutral spine. Making sure you're pressing into the pads of your fingers. Take your right foot off to the side, pressing the outer edge of your right foot into the floor. And breathe. On your next inhale, walk your hands back, arms rise, finding your gate pose. Exhale, right hand finds your right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Inhale, rise. Exhale, left hand finds the floor, right arm reaches up and over. Maybe this feels good. Or maybe you'd like to add a bit of strength and lift that left knee. Place the left knee back down on the ground, arms rise. Hands come to your hips. Inhale, lift the crown of your head, lift your chest. Exhale with a flat back, fold. Maybe your forehead finds the floor, maybe not. Inhale, lift. Let's do that 5 times. Fold. Lift. Fold. Lift. Try to put a little more weight in that right foot. Fold. Lift. One more time. Lift. Walk your hands back down to the ground and place your knees beneath, your right knee beneath you, taking your cat-cow here. When you're ready, come back to that neutral spine. Hug that belly in. Take your left leg off to the left. Walk your hands back to your right knee. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale to your gate pose to the left. Inhale, reach. Exhale, right hand finds the floor. Left arm reaches up and over. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift that right knee in that modified side plank. And hold. Bring your right knee back down to the ground. Inhale, arms rise. Hands to your hips. Prepare to fold. Fold. And lift. 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 Place your hands back down on the ground. Inhale, left arm rises. Exhale, thread that left hand behind the right elbow. Thread the needle. Your left cheek finds the floor. Maybe your right fingertips reach forward. Place your right hand beneath your right shoulder. Left arm sweeps high. Come back to center. We'll take that, thread the needle on the opposite side. Take your right leg off to the right. Inhale, right arm sweeps high. Exhale, thread the needle. Right hand comes behind the left elbow. Right cheek finds the floor. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you walk your left fingertips forward. And take a few breaths. Left hand comes beneath the left shoulder. Right arm sweeps high. Come back to your tabletop. Tuck onto the toes, lift your knees and hover. Bring your toes together. Tick-tock your knees from right to left, right, left, right, left. Few more times. Use your strength. Come back to hovering table. Send your hips high. Knees are still bent. First down dog of the practice. Start to pedal your feet or bounce, whatever feels good to you. Bend knees, straighten. Walk your dog or bounce. Find your stillness in your down dog. Please breathe. On your next inhale, shift forward into your high plank. Make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. You're squeezing your glutes, hugging your belly into your spine. Quads are engaged. Take an inhale here. And exhale, bring your knees down, untuck your toes, and slowly lower all the way to the floor. Forehead finds the mat. On your next inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, peel your chest off the mat. Reach your arms forward, palms facing down. Pressing into the tops of your feet, press your pelvis into the mat, and elbows back. Squeeze forward. Squeeze, working the back core here. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Three more. 3, 2, 1. Place your hands beneath your shoulders, shifting through tabletop, tuck onto your toes, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, gazes forward, come up onto your toes, and walk on your tippy toes all the way to the front of the mat. Find yourself in a forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Heel toe your feet a little wider than hip distance apart. Let's take 10 low squats here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. And fold. Plant the hands. Right foot steps all the way to the back of the mat. Lower that right knee. Untuck the toes. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands find, frame the left foot. Draw your heart forward. Exhale, shift your hips back. Lift, straighten your left leg. Lift your left toes towards your chest. Inhale, arms rise, reaching forward, low crescent. Exhale, hands come down, shift back into that half splits. 2 more times. Inhale, arms rise, squeezing the inner thighs together as you rise. Use your balance. You have a choice. Maybe you'd like to stay in that half splits instead of moving between low crescent and half splits. 1 more time, shift back. Coming forward, tuck onto those right toes, plant the hands, step back into your high plank. This time, instead of lowering the knees, unless that's your choice, hugging your elbows to your side, lower all the way down. Press the tops of the feet and the pelvis into the floor. Take those arms forward. Squeeze your elbows 1. Place your hands beneath your shoulders and go ahead and lift your heart. Find your cobra. Or maybe your up dog, yogi's choice. Tuck onto your toes, shift your hips back. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. And exhale, curl. Working that core. Hug that knee nice and tight. Gazes between the hands. Press into your hands and really tiger curl that spine. Step your left foot between your hands. Lower that left knee. Inhale, arms rise, low crescent. Preparing for half splits on this side. Exhale, hands come down. Straighten that right knee. Lift the right toes. Half splits. 2 more times. Inhale, arms rise. Low crescent. Exhale. Half splits. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, come down. Tuck onto that to the left toes. Lift the left knee. Step back. Moving through our vinyasa with the locust addition. Lower all the way to your belly. Inhale, lift your heart. Reach your arms forward. Squeeze 5 times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. Tuck feet pressing down into the mat. Find your back bend, cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, gaze is forward. Come up onto your toes, bend into your knees, hug your belly in, and see if you can step or hop to the front of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to your heart center, close your eyes. And maybe revisit your intention. Become aware of the energy moving through your body. Maybe ask yourself, do I need to push or pull back? Always remembering we have choices. Always remembering life is a balance. Take 1 more round of breath here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, step or hop back to high plank pose. Stay here and squeeze, maybe moving forward and back on your toes if you prefer that movement. Lower to your belly and lift your heart and squeeze. Hands beneath your shoulders, back bend. Tuck onto the toes, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg, hug your left knee to your nose. 2 more times. Lift, curl. 1 more time, curl. Really hug that left knee tight into your chest. Gazes between the hands. Press the mat away from you. Left foot steps between the hands. Find that low lunge. Give yourself a moment here. Maybe bring your fingertips a few inches in front of your left foot. Press most of the weight into that left foot. We are going to draw that right knee towards right elbow. We're doing that 10 times. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that low lunge. Pressing back into that right heel. Your right leg is engaged. Your hips are sinking just a little bit closer to the floor. The crown of your head is reaching forward. Plant your right hand, left arm sweeps high. Finding that gentle twist. Exhale, left hand comes down to frame that left foot. And you can either step your right foot forward and your left foot back, or you can come up and tense your fingers and take a switch jump. So you'll send your hips high and switch your feet so your right foot is forward. So you can practice that if you would like. Doesn't have to be pretty. So left foot forward and then right foot forward. Taking that same, pulling in that knee on this side, bring your fingertips a little further forward than your right foot, pressing most of the weight into the right foot. Draw your left knee to your left elbow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a moment in that low lunge. Left leg is engaged. Feeling that long line of energy between that left heel and the crown of the head. Left hand plants down, right arm sweeps high. Right arm comes down to frame. That right foot, step back to your high plank. This time shift forward a little bit in your high plank. We're going to skip those arm pulls in our vinyasa. Just lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take 3 rounds of breath here. Maybe you'd like to pulse in your down dog, pedal it out. Movement or stillness, your choice. Come up onto your toes, bend into your knees, step or hop to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Prepare for 10 squats. Feet are a little wider than hip distance apart, and squat low and come up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heel toe your feet back together, arms rise, vinyasa. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or hop back to your high plank. Shift forward on your toes. This time, lower halfway down to a half chaturanga. Draw your heart forward. Find your up dog cobra, back bend of your choice. Downward facing dog. And breathe. Right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, contract. One more time, lift. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, dip that left knee. Inhale, come up to that high crescent, shifting forward, placing more weight into the Draw your left knee forward to a leg lift. Inhale, step back, high crescent. Exhale, kiss the floor with that left knee. Inhale, rise, shift forward, knee pull. We'll do that a few more times. One more time. And hold. Take your left hand to your left hip, finding a focal point, a drishti on the floor. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. Hug your belly in. Hug that right hip nice and tightly underneath of you. And if this feels good, stay here. Or if you'd like to take those left fingertips and reach toward the back of the room. Maybe your gaze is to the left. Maybe it's to the back of the room. And breathe. Inhale, release. Keep that left leg lifted. Arms rise. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take that left ankle over your right knee and sit down into that standing figure four. Working on balance. Sink your hips. Use your strength. Strengthening and stretching. Maybe this feels good. Maybe you'd like to take your forearms to the inside of your calf or shin. Maybe your fingertips can find the floor. Yogi's choice. One more breath here. Inhale, start to come out the same way you came in. Arms rise. Lift that left knee. And exhale, take that left foot back to that high crescent. One more dip. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands find the floor. Frame that right foot. Step back to plank. Move through your vinyasa. Maybe it's a chaturanga. Maybe it's a cobra. Maybe it's those arm pulls. But we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Taking 2 deep breaths here. On your next inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. One more time. Knee to nose, gazes forward, left foot steps between the hands. Arms rise, high crescent. Exhale, lunge. Right knee kisses the floor. Exhale, shifting forward, weights in the left foot. Right knee lift. Exhale, lunge back. Inhale, right knee lift. Exhale, lunge back, kiss the floor. Few more times. Inhale here. Exhale back. Maybe you'd like to cactus your arms. Whatever feels best to you. Use your strength. One more time. Inhale, lift the right knee. Right hand finds the right hip. Hug your belly in. Tuck that left hip underneath your left shoulder. Left hand finds outside that right thigh. Maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough. Find your balance. Maybe your right fingertips reach for the back of the room. Gaze is to the right. As far as you can look. Inhale, arms rise, release that right leg, but don't let it fall. Exhale, prayer hands, cross that right ankle over the left thigh and sit back, figure 4. Maybe one side feels differently than the other. Keep that chest lifted. Sink back into that left hip. Maybe your forearms find your lower leg. Maybe your fingertips find the floor. One more breath here. And slowly come out the same way you went and lower that right leg. Shake it out. Moving into a wide leg forward fold. Feet are parallel, and they're 3 to 4 feet apart. Hands find your hips. Inhale, inhale, chest lifts, gaze lifts. Exhale, hug your belly in with a flat back, fold. All the way down. Enjoying this passive inversion. Hands find the floor. Maybe you use your hands to encourage a little more stretch. Inhale to a halfway lift. Right hand comes beneath the face. Left arm sweeps high. Exhale, thread the needle. Try to touch your right toes. Inhale, left arm sweeps high. Exhale, touch your right toes with your left fingers. Keep this up. Two more times. Left hand finds the floor beneath your face. Right arm sweeps high. Exhale, thread the needle, tap your left toes with your right fingers. Moving at your own pace. Right hand comes beneath your shoulders. Find that halfway lift. Walk your hands forward. And then press your chest towards your thighs or between your thighs. Finding that downward dog shape. Press into your palms. Really walk your fingertips forward as far as they can go. Shake your head yes and no. Walk your hands back between your feet. Bring one hand to your back pocket. Your right hand to your back pocket. Your left hand to your back pocket. Inhale, come to stand. Toes facing out. Sink down into your goddess legs. Knees wide. Tailbone reaching toward the floor. And maybe you just kind of sway your hips here. Maybe doing a little hip rotation. First one way. Let's take goalpost arms. And then reverse that direction. Or maybe you sway your hips. But lingering in any places that feel like they need a little attention. Come to goddess, stillness, sink your hips. We're going to take 2 steps starting with your left foot. Take 1 step to the center of your mat, like maybe halfway to the top of the mat. And then another step, finding ourselves in chair with cactus arms up at the top of the mat. And then take 2 steps back. So try that 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. 2 steps forward. Maybe you'd like to do it in 1 step. But closing those knees like a clamshell. or a book. 2 steps is fine. Notice where you feel that. Do you move to your edge and maybe a little beyond it? Or do you back off? Whatever feels best to you. Maybe use your arms, close your elbows together at the top of the mat. One more time. Open and close. Come back to your goddess. Sink lower. Straighten your legs. Reach your fingertips to where the wall meets the ceiling. Find your star. Hands to your hips. Toes pointing forward. Clasp your hands behind you. Draw that clasp toward the floor. Open across your collarbones. Take a deep breath here. And exhale with a flat back fold. Allow that clasp to fall up and over. Getting ready to take that goddess to the opposite side. Inhale, allow your clasp to draw you up to stand. Toes wide. Now we're going to be opening and closing that clamshell to the back of the mat, to your left foot. So finding your cactus arms. Take your right foot about halfway to the front of the mat and then close. And close your arms too this time. Use your elbows as a guide. Maybe you take it in one step. Maybe 2. Maybe this side feels different than the other side. Maybe you have to focus more on balance. Using your strength, hugging that belly in, squeezing your inner thighs together. Taking a few more moments here, opening and closing. Finding your goddess. Sink more deeply. Tailbone reaches for the floor. Inhale to star pose. Exhale, hands to hips. Parallel those feet. Clasping your hands in that way that doesn't feel so natural, drawing your knuckles toward the floor, finding that forward fold. Allowing the clasps to draw up and over. Inhale, arms rise, find yourself at the top of your mat. One last vinyasa. Inhale, arms rise. Vinyasa of your choice. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, step or jump back to high plank. Move through your flow. And downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze is between the hands, come up onto your toes, bend into your knees and hold this. Hop or step to the front of the mat, halfway lift. And fold. Arms rise. Come back to that wide leg and then we come to the floor. Bend into your right knee, left fingers reach the right toes and come back to stand. Bend deeply into that right knee. Maybe you'd like to T-shape your arms. Keeping that chest lifted as much as possible. Two more times. Come to center. Hands find your hips. You just breathe. Maybe shift your hips right to left. Release that work. Left side. T-shape your arms. Bend into that left knee. Right fingertips tap the left toes and stand. Chest lifted. Flat back. Bent left knee. Your left arm stays energetic. You're strong. Do you sink more deeply? Or stay where you are? What's your choice? One more time. Come back to stand. Hands to hips. Draw your elbows towards each other. Lift your heart. Open up across the collarbones. Send your hips forward. Your tailbone is reaching for the floor. Really opening up across that front body. And exhale, forward fold. Keeping your elbows pulling towards each other. Let your head hang. And maybe even find a smile. Inhale, let your elbows draw you up to stand. Find your way to the top of the mat. Feet as wide as the mat, toes pointing out. Palms together at your heart. Sink your hips all the way to the floor, finding your Malasana squat. Pressing into your thighs with your elbows and pressing your elbows into your thighs. Lift your heart. And then see if you can bring your arms forward, just balance a little bit, bring your toes a little more parallel to each other, and just see if you can come to a seat with control. Hug your belly in, hollow out your belly, and just see. With your knees bent, feet on the floor, just slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Bring your feet nice and close to your sit bones, so close that you can maybe touch your heels with your fingertips. Shoulder blades are flat to the mat. Feet are hip distance apart. Palms are down by your side. Actually, let's bend at the elbows, palms facing in, fingertips reaching for the sky. Take an inhale here. Exhale, press your lower back into the mat. Gently press the back of your head into the mat and lift your hips. Squeeze your glutes. Allow your chest to move a little closer to your chin. Your gaze is to the sky. And squeeze your glutes. Pulse in your bridge. Really feel that length in your front body. Squeezing the glutes, pressing into the heels, keeping your knees parallel. Don't let them splay out. Maybe you'd like to send your left hip to the left, your right hip to the right. That feels good. Pulse and squeeze, and pulse and squeeze, and pulse and squeeze. Keep it up. You're strong. Keep it up. You're strong. Keep it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower. Hug your knees into your chest gently, rock side to side. Taking that bridge again with choices. Place your feet back down on the mat. This time, palms facing down. Inhale, lower back, press down into the mat, lift your hips. And maybe you pulse here. Maybe you clasp your hands beneath your hips, drawing left shoulder underneath your chest, right shoulder underneath your chest. Lift your hips high, press into your heels, squeeze your glutes. And maybe you lift your right knee and down, left knee and down, right knee and down, left knee and down, right knee and down, left knee and down. Lift your hips and release that clasp, lowering your hips to the floor. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Place your feet on the floor, heel toe, your feet wide. Goal post your arms. Allow your knees to fall over to the right, and then the left, and then the right, and the left. Windshield wiper those knees. Heel toe your feet back together for a bit of core. Bring your hands behind your head. Lift your knees so your shins are parallel. You're pressing that lower belly into, you're pressing your belly button into the mat. Extend your left leg as your left elbow reaches for your right knee. Taking this bicycle. Alternate. Moving as quickly or as slowly as you like. What is it that you need? Don't forget to breathe. Thank you. Come back to center. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Taking one more core exercise here. Place your feet on the floor, much like you're preparing for a bridge. Inhale, lift your shoulders and head off the mat. You're pressing your belly button into the floor. Palms are facing down. And we'll take and reach our right fingertips towards our right ankle and then back to center. Left fingertips towards left ankle, back to center. Right and left. If this is too much for your neck, you can support your neck with your hands, but don't pull on the neck. Hugging that belly in, working the obliques. Side to side, keeping elbows wide or reaching with the fingertips. One more time on each side. And slowly lower. And just take a few breaths here. beneath your shoulders, fingertips facing forward. Draw your heart forward. Your shoulders are away from your ears. You're maybe even widening your feet if that feels comfortable. Your feet can be hip distance apart or even a little wider. Drawing up on that space about 3 inches below your belly button. Finding that Sphinx pose. We'll hang out here for a moment and breathe. Stretching out that front body. And slowly lower forehead to the mat. Extend your arms out in front of you. Extend your legs long. Doing a side stretch on our belly. So walk your right hand off to the right. And then your left hand on top of the right hand. And then take the top of your right foot off to the right. And then bring your left foot either crossing over the ankle or right beside that right foot. Stay here for that on your belly side stretch. Take a few breaths here. One more breath into that left side, feeling that long line of energy from your left fingertips all the way to your left toes. Inhale, walk your hands back to center. Elbows beneath the shoulders. Draw your heart forward, your shoulders away from your ears. Find that Sphinx pose. And walk your hands forward. Forehead finds the mat. Take that side stretch to the opposite side. Left hand is off to the left. Right hand on top of the left. Left foot slightly off to the left. Right foot crosses over. And notice, breathe and notice. One side might feel different than the other. Breathing into any areas that might feel tense or sensitive. And then exhaling to relax or release. Breathing into that right side body. To center, releasing all of that. Bring your hands beneath your shoulders, press up onto your knees, walk your hands forward, and send your chest toward the floor, finding your puppy pose. And breathe. Inhale, walking your knees forward, come to a seat. Slowly lower all the way to your mat. Right leg extends long, hug your left knee in. Maybe shift it from side to side just a little bit, or maybe a circle. Reflecting on all that work that you've done in your practice. Maybe being aware of the choices you made. Maybe becoming aware of the choices, or knowing that you have choices in your day. Goal post that left arm and draw your left knee across your body, finding that supine twist. Your left shoulder stays glued to the mat. Your gaze is to the left. And breathe. back of your head on the mat and just shift your right knee side to side, or maybe a circle. Goalpost that right arm. Find that supine twist on the opposite side. Gaze is to the right. And maybe notice any place you might be clenching or holding. Breathe into that space and then give yourself permission to release. Draw your knee back to center. Hug your right knee into your chest, your left knee into your chest. Bring your nose to your knees and give yourself a big hug. Hug your knees wide of your chest. Reach between your knees and grab the outside edges of your feet, finding your happy baby. And maybe take a rock side to side. This is our last posture before our final resting pose, Shavasana. Go ahead, extend your left leg to the corner of your mat, the bottom of your mat, and then your right. Shimmy your shoulder blades nice and flat to the mat. Arms down by your side, palms facing up. Take up as much space as you like. And then close down your eyes. Unfurrow your brow. Allow your eyes to sink a bit more deeply into their sockets. Release your jaw. Feel your arms and legs getting nice and heavy. There is nowhere to go and nothing to do. Just breathe. Start to bring some movements back to your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, roll over onto your right side, drawing your knees towards your chest, using your arm as a pillow. Slowly press yourself up into a comfortable seat, eyes closed, palms together at your heart and chins bowed. Thank you so much for sharing in this practice with me this morning. It's an honor to guide you through this work. May you meet each choice in your day with enthusiasm, courage, and joy. Namaste.